Good morning, everybody. How are you? It's so good to see you. Happy Tuesday. So glad that we get to spend some more time together talking about data science and really anything else that you guys would like to talk about. I really enjoy running these live streams, and I'm just grateful that we get to spend more time together today on what is shaping up to be a beautiful Tuesday on my end. I hope that the weather is good for you and that your family is safe in your part of the world. So for those of you that are joining us for the first time, you're not alone. My channel is gratefully still experiencing a lot of growth, so there's always new people joining every day. We always start off our stream by asking people to introduce themselves. Let us know your city, state, province, country. It's a nice, easy way for you to participate, to feel a part of the community, and to also understand how global the interest is in data science. Lots of interest in data science in many parts of the world. I'm always encouraged by that. And then on top of that, and after that, I usually give an opening note where I try to share a general thought about data science or things that are going on. Sometimes I might share personal things. And then from there, I'm here to take your questions. I'm here to just hear you out, and you guys really set the agenda for what we're going to talk about. You guys set the agenda for the questions that you might bring, the problems, the frustrations, the new tools, whatever you'd like. And sometimes like today, I might also have an article ready for us to look at, an article or a study or something else. So I do have something in mind if we end up getting to it, and if we don't, that's okay too. But the point is that I love keeping these chats open, keeping these chats available for whatever people want to talk about. To me, that makes it a lot of fun. I love that aspect. And we'll just kind of go from there and see where the conversation takes us. So please go ahead and start filling up my chat. Let me know your city, state, province, country. And then and then I take your questions after that. But we do always ask people to introduce themselves. I think it kind of adds to the professionalism of the chat, and I'm actually going to put a reminder in Instagram to do that. And I think it's also good practice for you as a data scientist to remember to always do that, because it's important how you carry yourself in a professional environment, right? So go ahead, start filling up my chat with that. Don't be shy. We get people from all over. We always get people that are new. So if you're new, you're not going to be the only one. I've been really happy with the past week. There's been a lot of people who have felt comfortable enough to kind of step out of the shadows and introduce themselves. So that's really nice. So if you'd like to do that today, you are more than welcome to do so. So I did want to give a little bit of a quick, maybe a little bit of a different opening note today. I did get up a little later than I usually do this morning. I got up a little bit later, and I woke up to a lot of comments in my YouTube. So as some of you know, I did publish a video on yesterday, about android or humanoid robots, right? Obviously a lot of excitement around humanoid robots. The Tesla event that was 2-3 weeks ago obviously brought that to the forefront also. And I'm not very optimistic about humanoid robots, at least not in the home. Because obviously the Tesla event and a lot of discussion is about putting them in the home and making them affordable, scalable, all that stuff, right? And I believe that the price point, that Tesla has put out there is also very low, seemingly affordable, at least for most households. But I'm not very optimistic about them. In fact, in my video, I do say that the way I see it, we're probably about 10 years away from robots being available in the home and being useful in the home. And I present a couple of ideas in that video, and you're welcome to look at the video. You're welcome to look at it and add to the conversation. But the point here is not the video. The point is that why are there so many Elon Musk fanboys out there? Kind of disturbing, right? Like just the sheer number. So I'm really curious, if you guys want to give me some feedback on that, why you think that is. But no matter the person, no matter the company, no matter the the amount of marketing, the quality of the marketing. It's always healthy to have some suspicions. It's always healthy to have some pessimism. I don't think it's healthy to have just wholesale optimism. This person, this company, this whatever is going to save us, right? To me, that's the mark of the ultimate form of desperation, right? I can't believe in anything else, but I'm going to believe in person X or company Y or whatever the case may be, right? So I've been kind of fascinated by that fervor with which people put in that amount of faith, that amount of wholesale trust, and say, yes, this demo works, so this is absolutely going to happen no matter what. If you want to be just an average consumer, okay, fine. But if you want to be a scientist, a scientist always has some pessimism to the results that are presented to them. You can still, read the papers and run the experiments for yourself and come up with similar results or whatnot, but it's okay to have some pessimism and say, well, why do you think this is going to be the case? What are the possibilities that it won't come to pass? Or maybe I agree on your conclusion, but I don't agree on the timeline, right? There's a lot of ways that you can still appreciate someone's ideas, appreciate someone's work and effort, but doesn't mean you have to believe them wholesale. So I'm really kind of troubled by that sometimes when I see these posts by the Elon fanboys and everybody, the Tesla fanboys. It's okay to have some pessimism in your life. It's okay to go against the grain. It's okay to not just believe everything you read, as they say, right? So prior to this stream, I spent the last half hour or so replying to some of those comments. I think I still have a couple more to do, actually. But the overall message I kind of wanted to get across today, well, the overall message in the video was that the robots are not coming anytime soon, right? But the message I want to get across to all of you, because I know all of you are interested in data science, is to don't be afraid to have some pessimism. Don't be afraid to go against the grain. Just because everyone is saying it doesn't mean it's true. Because there's plenty of Elon Musk fanboys out there, right? There's definitely no shortage of them. But don't be afraid to go against the grain. Because sometimes your analysis, may be unique. That's possible. But other times your analysis just needs that additional voice to say, well, wait a minute. Is this really where we want to go? Is this really a realistic timeline? Is this really a realistic use of our resources? Budgeting, return on investment, all those types of things. It's healthy for you to be the voice in the room that says, wait a minute, let's take a step back here. I think that there's another path here. So I'll leave you with that. Don't be an Elon Musk fanboy. And if you'd like, please watch my video on the humanoid robots. It's getting a decent amount of attention. And just really interesting to see some people's perspectives. Because there are people who put a lot of wholesale trust in Elon Musk, like a lot. All right. So Layman on Instagram says, hey Layman, we always ask people to introduce themselves, okay? So let us know your city, state, province, country, please. Joseph is back, says, morning, Dennis and everyone. Hey, Joseph, how are you? Hope that you're doing well. We've missed you the last couple days. Hope you're doing well. Rex, our good friend from Rex, says hello from NYC. Rex, is that intended to be an emoji at the end of your statement? Is that a frowny face? Does Rex need some love today? What's going on over there, Rex? Hope you're doing well. Osama says, hello, sir. I hope everything is going well. Thank you, Osama. Hope the same for you. And everything is going well. I slept really good last night. I went for a good long walk yesterday after the stream. Slept pretty good, and I think we're in for a good day today. Denelson, our good friend Denelson from LA says, good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing today? Everyone is doing well. At least I hope so, Denelson. How are you doing? Let us know how you're doing. How you're doing out there in LA. But yeah, I think everything is going to go well today. You know, it's still early, right? Time will tell how my day shapes up, but things are going well. Things are going well. Rex says, yeah, it's a wave. Oh, okay, I see it now. Okay, I see it now. I see the wave, the head, and sorry guys, I'm slow. I'm not always up on the current emojis and stuff, so sorry about that, Rex. But yeah, I get it. It's Rex waving to us all the way from New York City. So Rex, let us know how you're doing out there in New York City. I hope it's not too cold for you. I hope you're doing well. Rex says, I never frown. Oh, wow. Wow. What an optimistic viewpoint. I love that optimism from Rex. Good for you, my friend. Love to see that happiness, right? I never frown. That's good. That's good. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I guess I try to do the same thing. I try to always practice positive talk, right? You know, I always try to practice the self-hype, right? You know, you got to have confidence. You got to be able to self-hype yourself, right? So, yeah, I love that, Rex. Good for you. Rex says it's sunny today. Okay, but sunny is not always warm in New York City, so I hope you're doing well. Rex says, come on, Dennis, you're an internet celebrity now. You should know these things. Okay, Rex. Yes, I'm approaching 100,000 followers. I don't know if that makes me an internet celebrity, but you guys also gotta remember, I'm an old guy. I mean, I'm pretty old, right? So I'm not always up on the like the most current things, right? I'm ancient. Compared to some of you, I'm ancient. I have pairs of shoes that are older than some of you in the chat. Okay, so you know, it's one of those things where it's like I try to keep up. You know, the way I keep up the most with like the memes and how I get some of my meme backgrounds and all that is on TikTok, right? You know, TikTok is really quick to be able to catch up with whatever nonsense people are talking about, right? But TikTok is all video, right? They're not going to show you the latest like emojis like that, right? So I don't know, Rex. I do my best to try to keep up, but it's not easy. Things move fast in internet land, right? You know, today's meme is tomorrow's, you know, whatever, right? Nobody cares. But yeah, I do use TikTok to help me keep up with that and to find my green screens, like I said, but it's hard. It's hard to keep up. You guys are fast. Joseph says, I missed you guys too. Sorry, I have been MIA. Schedule has been a little rough these past days. Oh, well, sorry to hear that, Joseph. Hope everything is well. If there's anything we can do to support you, please let us know. But, we all go through tough schedules, right? We all go through tough times, and sometimes things get away from us and all that. And that's okay, right? I love when people still come back. I hope that this still provides some value where people want to join and people want to be a part of it. So thanks for coming back. That's what counts, right? The point is that you came back. So thanks for that. Manoj, your good friend Manoj says, Namaste, Sir Dennis, and everyone. Manoj from Bangalore, India. How you doing, Manoj? Hope you're doing well. Hope the weather out there in India is treating you well. I'm assuming it's a little cooler, but let us know, Manoj. Let us know. So again, if you're joining us late, please let us know your city, state, province, country. Nice, easy way for you to introduce yourself, easy way for you to participate in the chat and be a part of the community. And it also keeps the chat inclusive, right? I don't want somebody to feel like their data science skills aren't good enough or they have to ask some amazing question. You don't have to ask anything. Just let us know where you're from, okay? All right. So if anybody has questions or anything else I can help them with, now is a good time for it. Otherwise, I'm going to bring up my classroom view, and I have an article from IBM. Oh, excuse me, not an article, but the results of a study from IBM that I thought we could all take a look at. So let me prepare that on my end. So I hesitated a little bit to bring up this study because the study Manoj says, yes, sir, winter is starting here. Yeah, but what's winter in India? At least in southern India. It probably doesn't snow in southern India, does it? I think you're too close to the equator, yeah? Or actually, I think you're below the equator in some parts of southern India. But yeah, but glad you're doing well out there, Manoj. All right, so let me refresh that. So this is the results of a study done by IBM, and it's called The State of Sustainability Readiness in 2024. So right now, we're going to have some participation. What does sustainability mean to you guys? Give me a definition for sustainability. What does it mean? What do you think about when you think about sustainability? Now, obviously, this is, IBM, a tech company. We are a group of data scientists. So obviously, there's that element behind it, right? So I'm kind of referring to like the tech side of sustainability, right? What do you guys think? What does sustainability mean? Give me your own definitions of it. What do you think? What comes to mind when you think about sustainability? Would love to hear your thoughts on that. Give everybody like a minute here to think about that. Okay, so Denelson is volunteering. Something that can last for a long time with easy maintenance. Okay. Or maybe just like affordable maintenance, right, Denelson? Because just because it's easy doesn't mean it's affordable, right? And just because it's affordable doesn't mean it's easy. So yeah, but I think that's a pretty good definition. Anybody else? Or you can just choose to agree with Denelson, right? What do you guys think? Anybody else for sustainability definitions? So let's go ahead and go with Denelson's definition because I think he's pretty close, right? I think it's pretty accurate, right? The sustainability is looking at your projects, your investments, your efforts, your overall efforts by what it takes to keep them going, and can you keep them going over the long term, and at what costs and at what effort, right? And when you're talking about those costs, you're also talking about financial costs, environmental costs, people costs, right? So it's kind of looking at it from all angles, right? Joseph says, maybe sustainability is about building products that benefit people with low degradation with time. Is about building products with low degradation with... Okay, so that's interesting, Joseph. I can appreciate that you're adding a different angle there, right? That maybe sustainability isn't about maintenance, it's about making it good to begin with so that it doesn't like erode over time or degrade over time. Okay, I like that. I can appreciate that difference between you and Denelson's answer, right? But I think that, you're both right, right? Both of you have have the right elements in place. But here's the thing. Here's the reason why I started off with this question, and why I tell you that I hesitated to put out to share this with you guys. To me, sustainability, I agree with the definitions, but in the bigger picture, sustainability is one of those topics that a lot of companies talk about. But you kind of always wonder, like, do they really mean this? Like, are they really going to put actions behind their words? Because sustainability is almost like one of those like PR things, like where it feels good to talk about it and it makes your company look good, and you publish a nice little infographic on Twitter and everybody likes it because, yeah, they're sustainable. Like, you know what I mean? Like, do you guys remember like a couple years back when like going carbon neutral was a thing, right? Like it's same thing as like that, right? Like how many posts did you see on Twitter from companies saying, we're going carbon neutral, yeah, right? Like everybody gets excited and hyped up about it, but like nobody really means it. Like that's like the dirty corporate secret, right? But this is one of those things where like people talk about it, and they'll sit in the meetings. Oh yeah, sustainability, super important. We have a sustainability initiative for 2025. But nobody really does anything, So I thought we'd take a look here because there are some elements of AI, and maybe we as a collective group can decide if these companies are on the right track, if we as data scientists kind of have a role in this. Maybe we do, maybe we don't, right? So this is the kind of a frame that I want to provide for all of you guys in terms of, well, why are we looking at this, right? Why would IBM publish a sustainability report to begin with, right? Is this really critical to our work? Are companies really going to put some significant time and effort behind it, or are we just kind of, talking out loud here, right? So that's kind of like the initial frame that I want you guys to start off with, okay? Chira on Instagram, we always ask people to introduce themselves, okay? So please let us know your city, state, province, country. All right, so let's start walking through this. For reports like this, I usually ignore all of this, right? Because this is kind of like that marketing talk that I mentioned to you guys, right? Where, this is just kind of feel good text, right? But there are some kind of AI mentions here. So let's look at this. Here. Optimizing supply chains and mining efforts, supporting the transition to more renewable, decentralized grids, and AI adoption has also driven higher energy use and costs for many organizations, and even forced many to reevaluate their sustainability targets. Okay. Do you guys agree with that? They are asserting that AI adoption also has also driven higher energy use and costs for many organizations. Is that true? Who agrees with that? Who agrees with that? I don't know. You guys tell me if it's true or not. I'll give you my answer later. But they are asserting that AI adoption has also driven higher energy use and costs for many organizations. You let me know. So here, while you guys think about that, the task ahead is to maximize the business value of AI, delivering the results the clients need with better and faster, higher quality, while minimizing its cost and environmental impact. Okay. Okay, that sounds good, right? 9 out of 10 respondents believe in the potential of AI to contribute to sustainability outcomes. 61% of respondents view investments in information technology for sustainability from the perspective of opportunity growth rather than cost mitigation. 90% plan to increase their investment in IT sustainability. Okay, some of that is feel-good numbers. Some of that kind of makes sense. But what do you guys think? Has AI adoption really driven higher energy use and costs? Do you agree with that? You tell me. Meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead here in some of the other charts because I know that there's others here that I also want to focus on. Not all of them, but some of them. Okay, this is an important one here. So while you think about that answer, right, because the question in front of the chat is right now, do you think that AI has actually driven to higher energy use and costs? Right? Here's another statement, and I had to read this sentence a couple of times before I kind of really understood it. Industry leaders see opportunities in using IT and most prominently AI to elevate sustainability in their companies. Now think about that. They're not saying that they see an increase in AI. Well, they're not saying that they do or they don't. They are specifically saying that there is a use of AI to help their sustainability. Okay? So it's not AI for the public, for self-driving cars, for robots. It's AI to help with sustainability within their organization. So in other words, they're referring to internal tools that can help them. What do you guys think about that? Is there a place for AI to help increase a company's sustainability? Maybe, maybe not. Let me know what you guys think. But remember, they're looking at AI not to help you in the home, not to improve LLMs. They're looking at AI to improve sustainability and how companies go about it. Is that even possible? Think about that. Give me an answer in the chat. Okay, so Denelson says, I think because of AI, we need a stronger computer, which can lead to more energy being needed to run these computers. Denelson, no, I think you understood the question. Okay, I think that's a perfectly valid answer. Joseph says, yeah, I agree. Okay, yeah. I think both Joseph and Denelson are correct, right? AI has indeed increased a lot of the power consumption by data centers, right? That shouldn't be by the way, that shouldn't be a surprise to anybody in this chat, right? AI requires a lot of training. It doesn't require, but it benefits from a lot of servers to help in that training, right? More specifically, it does help to have GPU processors. I don't know if GPUs consume more power than a CPU does. I'm not up to speed on those numbers, but the fact that there are more Gen AI data centers or Gen AI servers and more companies doing their own explorations absolutely has raised power requirements across the board, right? So what they are saying is absolutely a 100% factual statement, right? If you're surprised by that, then I would recommend, reading up on a couple of things. But, just as a simple example, OpenAI has made no secret that some of their models take not just days or weeks, but months to train, right? So just the fact that they're running so many more servers 24/7, high capacity usage, right? Because obviously you would assume that their CPUs are not just sitting there idle over that time. They're pretty high usage, or excuse me, their GPUs are pretty high usage. Would definitely indicate that power consumption has to go up, right? It has to. So to be concerned about AI's effect on the environment is definitely a valid approach, right? Mataku on Instagram, we always ask people to introduce themselves, so let us know your city, state, province, country, all that stuff. So sustainability, right? Power, AI, GPUs, data centers. I'm going to take this one step further with you guys, because this kind of sort of ties to sustainability, but let me present you something else. And this is a conversation I'm having with some of my corporate clients, okay? What does that mean in terms of competition? Competition for data centers, competition for AI tools, competition for keeping up with the advancements in AI. What does that mean? Right? So would you say that it means that power, like literally like electricity now becomes a competitive advantage when it comes to AI, right? Not just really the cost of it, but what about just like the general availability of power? Aren't there some regions in your country or maybe in the world where power is more accessible than other places? What do you guys think about that? Aren't there some countries out there that are trying to make advancements in AI, that are trying to keep up, but maybe power is a concern? We still live in the world where some parts of the world, they have brownouts. They have planned brownouts. Or in some cases, they might have planned blackouts. Right? So doesn't power now become something like of a competitive advantage depending on where you live? Like not just like on a regional level, but on a country level? Isn't that kind of concerning? Right? Like in the 1980s, it was kind of like, in 1980s, the Cold War, things like that, the power was in how many missiles you have. Right? But what if now the power is in how much electricity you have? Because electricity leads to AI, right? You can't have one without the other. So doesn't that kind of create a competitive advantage? What do you guys think about that? Let me know in the chat. To me, it's kind of a scary thing to think about, right? Like you could start saying, well, wait a minute, aren't some countries going to be left behind? Maybe, right? Like if they're not sustainable in that regard of the sustainability of their environment, their energy production, their energy distribution, right? There's plenty of countries that have great energy production, but they can't distribute it because they don't have the infrastructure to distribute it. Right? That happens too. So maybe we as AI enthusiasts, specialists, practitioners, whatever, we also need to be worried about power, right? Maybe we're going to become like power experts by proxy, right? Because you kind of have to. You'd kind of have to be making decisions on data centers and locations and stuff based on the cost of electricity, because even within a single country, cost of electricity can vary by region, also, right? So now you kind of have like electricity and AI. They're one, right? You can't discuss one without the other. You can't make ROI decisions without the other. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? Can that even be helped? Maybe, maybe not, right? What do you guys think? Let me know. But I'm just giving you a taste here of some of the conversations I'm having, in other avenues, because I think it's important. And it kind of ties back to this whole sustainability question, right? Like, what if we reach a point where the models are so big, the models are just massive in the number of inputs, where no country's electricity infrastructure can handle the training? Like, can't we get to that? I think we can, right? Because I think about how much we're doing with LLMs, right? Which I'm basically like saying text with generative AI for text. Like, think about like what it takes to generate video then, right? Like how much more power is required for video versus text? It has to be higher, right? Like, I'm happy to be wrong on that, but my gut tells me that it has to be higher. So if we're thinking about this report also on the screen, most people are going to come at this from the perspective of, well, my LLM took this much to train. Well, Gen AI for video is not an LLM. It's Gen AI, but it's something else, right? So maybe this report or our views on sustainability will change. They will 100% change when we start looking at, geez, we thought LLM models were big. Look at these video models. These video models are massive, right? What do you guys think about that? Maybe I'm giving a little bit too much of a doomsday type of scenario. I can appreciate that if somebody wants to give me that feedback. But these are the things I think about, because what if there's a ceiling to Gen AI, to the development we can do in Gen AI? That's possible, right? And by the way, when I say a ceiling, I'm talking about like for everyone, right? For every country. Like couldn't we reach a point where the models can't be served by anybody's power grid out there? I think we can, right? So let me know what you guys think about that. All right, so let's keep going in this study. They lay out the chapters here, but I'm not sure how important they are. I'm trying to get to one of the parts here. All right. So, remember when I mentioned how sometimes, these sustainability efforts are kind of just like feel-good things, like marketing things? So here they are presenting, why are you doing this? Is it because of costs, or is it because it's opportunity driven? I was kind of intrigued by the fact that there's only two options here. Why are these the only two options? Like, why are they asking their respondents, are you doing it because of cost, or are you doing it because of opportunity? And by opportunity, I'm assuming that they mean something like, you live in a state or you live in a country where there's a rebate for installing solar panels, like some sort of government subsidy or a rebate for solar panels. So you went ahead and did that, right? You installed the solar panels and, that helped, right? That gave you some sort of, the opportunity was there for you to do it. What about things like being a good global citizen? You see, it kind of bothers me that both of these are talking about like some sort of outside influence, right? It either saved us money or the opportunity was there and we took it. But it basically means that none of these companies are doing it because they want to, or because like they started it, they initiated it, they came up with the idea and then they executed it, right? So this is kind of where I mean about where some of these things are kind of like, yeah, we're going to do it. We're, if it kind of comes up, right? If the opportunity presents itself. But are they really serious about doing this? Like, are they really serious about wanting to be sustainable? Or are they just doing it because, okay, great, we got some financial incentive to do it, right? So these are the things I think about when I see these charts, where it feels like there should be more than just two options here, right? What do you guys think about that? Am I being crazy? Feel free to tell me I'm being crazy, right? It's good to have differing perspectives. But I'm a little bothered by that these are the only two drivers that they have. What about just being a good global citizen? So this here talks about which countries are investing more for sustainability. So I know I have some Indian viewers. 70%. Now, is that companies? Is it anticipated? Okay, that's how much sustainability is expected to grow across global markets in the next 12 months. India is expected to grow 70%. UAE, 52%. Brazil, 58%. I think those are my top three. And then you have other countries like the US at 37%, Australia at 43, Japan at 24%. Okay. What do you guys think? Is there a reason why India would be at 70%? That's a really high number, right? They're going to grow sustainability by 70% over the next 12 months. That's a really high number. Why? Why would that be the case? If you want a hint of what I'm thinking, at least, I welcome your perspective. But I'm thinking it's related to the conversation we just had earlier, right? About the power, right? But of course, some of you are closer to India than I am, so maybe you have a different perspective. Would love to hear that. But what do you guys think? Let me know. All right. So keep going on here. And now we get into AI. So here, remember, this is AI for the use of sustainability. All right, make sure I'm reading this. Okay. So the dark blue is people who are very, very optimistic on AI helping sustainability. The light blue is it's just, okay. Excuse me, I said that backwards. The light blue is the most optimistic people. The dark blue is, they're both optimistic and kind of sort of optimistic, right? But overall have a positive view on it, right? So in Brazil, highly positive. UAE, highly positive. United Kingdom, still good optimism there, but nowhere near as some of the other countries, right? And I think those are the only 3 countries they present. But they still haven't told us why, right? So maybe, if you want to participate in the chat, put in what are some of your ideas for how generative AI can be used to help with sustainability. So we've talked about sustainability being something that can last for a long time, being a product that doesn't degrade as quickly, right? So it can be around for a while. We've talked about sustainability being about power usage, electricity, the availability of it, the transport of it. We talked about, whenever you're talking about electricity, you're also talking about environmental impacts, right? What do you guys think? How can AI help some of those, any of those, all of those? What do you think? Let me know in the chat. Some of you may also be pessimistic that it would help, right? Maybe there is no space for generative AI to help in that. Generative AI can't solve everything, right? So maybe you want to give an opinion on that. What do you think? All right, let's keep going here. "56% of leaders are not using AI for sustainability efforts despite widespread positive sentiments regarding AI." Think about that. 56% of leaders are not using AI for sustainability efforts despite widespread positive sentiments regarding AI. So here is people who plan to use AI versus the people who are actively using AI for sustainability right now. Okay, so with some volunteers, AI can help optimize resources and reduce waste. Yeah, I agree with that. Can AI help you determine when certain servers should be running or not running, or when you should be buying power versus not buying it because of its usage, its cost, its impact, right? Because electricity can have many sources, right? So that's something to consider, right? Hermawan, thanks for joining, but we ask people to introduce themselves. Let us know your city, state, province, country, please. But thanks for being here. We appreciate you joining. 32% of respondents claim they plan to implement an AI solution for sustainability soon. India leads the surveyed countries in actively using AI at 64%, which is stark contrast to the UK, where AI adoption is just 27%. Now, remember, that's AI for sustainability, not AI overall. Okay? So why am I pointing out this 56% number? So when I see numbers like this, I think about the opportunity behind them, right? Isn't that an opportunity for some of you? I get a lot of questions. Dennis, how do I get my first job in data science? Dennis, I want to do what you do. I'm in a program, but I don't have an idea for what project I should do. Can you give me a project idea? Right here. Come up with an AI project on sustainability. 56% of the interviewers that you're going to talk to have no idea how to use AI for sustainability, but they're looking for it, according to this report, right? Make that your next project. Come up with something for sustainability on AI. 56% of executives are going to be interested in hearing about that. So the information's out there, guys, right? Denelson says AI can also help when planning to build a new building structure, such as positioning a building so it can maximize the amount of sunlight and lets in, and that can reduce the use of lights. Okay, very cool, Denelson. I like that. I like that. So maybe for like general infrastructure planning, right? It can be used for that. Okay. Thus reducing energy usage. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Yeah. So, but you know, the opposite could also be true, right? Most data centers don't actually spend, well, they spend money on the processing, but what they really spend money on is the cooling costs, right? It takes a lot to cool down a data center. So yeah, so maybe the opposite is true, right? How do I get the most shade on my data center so that my cooling costs can be lower, right? So there's a lot of different angles to it, right? But right there, like Denelson just gave us a project idea. Like you could do a study and write a pretty good LinkedIn article about that, right? Like how can architects use Gen AI to develop optimal locations for Gen AI data centers based on the heat, based on electricity availability, based on warming patterns, you know, vis-a-vis global warming and all that, right? Because you want cool areas, not hot areas, right? So yeah, like you could do a study on that. Write up your conclusions, put it on LinkedIn, put it on your resume, and 56% of interviewers that you're going to talk to don't know what to do, but they know they want to do it. That's great. That's a great position for you guys to be in, right? So think about that. I think that's pretty interesting. But this is, you know, by doing this, this is how you find those project ideas. These numbers, you know, they're not negative, they're opportunities, right? So keep that in mind. Or let me know what you think about that strategy. All right. So here's something that's a little bit, this is not specific to sustainability, right? This is AI usage across the board. They're saying that we're here. 2024, the light blue are the energy requirements of Gen AI. The darker blue is where AI is the power demand for AI is going to rise by 2030. So that's only 6 years away. 6 years, it's going to be 160% growth. Are you guys on board with that? Because honestly, to me, seems a little low. 6 years is a long time. We're going to have a lot of advancement in those 6 years. So to only grow by 160% seems low, right? What do you guys think? Does that seem about right? Seem high? Seem low? I know I've biased the conversation a little bit already, but you guys can tell me what you think. But to me, it seems a little low. And that's also assuming that the base number is correct, right? I mean, how do you measure what electricity is being dedicated just to AI? That's probably not like the most accurate thing that you can possibly measure, right? But to me, it seems low. What do you guys think? Maybe for some of you, it'll seem high, and that's okay, right? But I think it's low. I think it's going to be a lot more than that. Because, you know, as I've mentioned to you guys before, you know, we're still at the beginning of Gen AI. We haven't looked at, you know, there hasn't been like a dominant player for the video generation, a dominant player for the audio generation, right? You know, those projects, those companies, those tools are still to come, right? So, what do you guys think? I think that was the last AI related chart I wanted to show you. Let me just check again. I think that was it for AI. The rest of this is just, you know, corporate speak stuff. Okay. So the third pressing need for executives is expertise in AI, right? Sustainable business strategies and renewable and clean energy. So that's what they're looking for. They're looking for somebody who can speak in AI, generative AI, sustainable strategies, and clean energy, renewable and clean energy. Most desired in Brazil at 53%, US at 47%, and the UAE at 44%, Australia and Canada at like 40%. So if you're in one of these countries, if you have an interest in one of these countries, sustainable AI is something that might be coming down your way, right? So time to start preparing. Rahul says, just use Sunao AI. It was fun. It's a song generation and it was fun nonetheless. Okay, cool, Rahul. And by the way, welcome, Rahul. Good to see you. By the way, hello everybody. I miss you, my darling Lee. That's funny. Yeah, Rahul. So Leo, I spoke with Leo yesterday. He's doing well. He's gonna come back soon. But yeah, he'll come back. You know, Leo's a good guy. He'll be back. But yeah, good to see you, Rahul. Hope the new job is going well. Layman, we ask people to introduce themselves. Let us know your city, state, province, country. Okay. So maybe you're looking to move to one of these countries. Maybe you are in one of these countries, right? But these are the countries that are looking for more skilled people in AI and as it relates to sustainability. So something to think about, okay? But I think that was it. I think that was it for this particular deck. I mean, there's a lot more pages, but as far as AI goes, that is all I wanted to share with you. At the very end, they do have some methodology, which we should always look at. So 2,800 executives in 15 industries, 30 questions, 9 countries. Pretty good sample size, right? 2,800. That's pretty good. Some of the studies we've seen have like 200 in their sample, right? So 2,800 coming from Canada, Brazil, US, UK, Germany, UAE, India, Japan, and Australia. So pretty good geographic dispersion, right? And the executives are more than 100 employees, and the significant portion had at least 1,000 employees, or companies with 1,000 employees. So I think that lends a little bit of weight behind the study, as far as are these numbers relevant in some way, and I think it does, right? This sounds like a pretty good methodology that they followed, and I believe they say it was an email survey. Oh no, it was conducted by an independent company, Morning Consult, but they might have done it by email surveys anyways. Okay, all right, guys. So, any closing thoughts? Have you changed your mind about sustainability and AI? Or maybe just change your mind about AI in general, right? Because AI is definitely a power hog, right? You can't run a good AI program, like on a wide scale. I'm talking like countries running their entire programs without some other investments, right? Other investments are going to be required. So what do you guys think? Last chance for closing thoughts? Otherwise, that's really what I wanted to share with you today. Or if you have other questions, feel this is a good time for them. But maybe I've given you a different perspective here on how to think about AI and general IT implementation, right? Because sustainability is not exclusive to AI, right? Sustainability can also be about other things related to IT. So Denelson says, I am curious about how AI sustainability we've been talking about can differ from nonprofit from for-profit companies or orgs. That's a really good question, Denelson. Denelson, I'm not sure you can. Here's why I say that, because any company, no matter who you are, nonprofit, profit, whatever, school, doesn't matter. Anytime somebody is going to make an investment in AI, it's a significant investment, period, right? So so there are no like cloud providers or data center providers that like give a discount because you're a nonprofit, right? So from a sustainability perspective, a nonprofit's model isn't going to use more or less energy than other people, right? Like there's no difference there. A model is a model, right? So maybe I haven't thought about this enough. I'm open to being wrong on this if one of you guys wants to kind of give a different perspective, but I don't see it. I don't see a difference. It's still a significant investment. It's still a significant use of physical computing resources. And if you're using those, then you're using electricity, right? You're still concerned about sustainability just like any other company would be, no matter what your individual state is, right? So yeah, that's what I think, Denelson. Yeah. I don't think it matters. A big model is still a big model. It's still going to require a lot of computing. You might have different inputs, right? Different types of documents that you're feeding into the training, but it's still a big investment. So that's what I think. Rahul says, I believe verification of AI would be a major role in any sector. A good experienced person would be prioritized. All in all, I think competition would be more, but still new job generation would be there, I think is what you... I agree with that. Right? There's clearly a demand for it, right? It said the skills, right? If you knew about AI, sustainable growth, and clean power, there's a demand for that, right? Clean and renewable power, right? I mean, it's in the report, right? That's where they see the growth for this type of executive, for this type of focus of AI, right? Because you could focus on other parts of AI, right? You could be sitting there right now and saying, the sustainability stuff is not for me. That's okay. That's a valid response. But if it does appeal to you, then there's clearly a demand there, right? So something for you guys to think about. Denelson says, thank you, appreciate the response. Yeah, thank you, Denelson. Appreciate, the question. Appreciate all of you that participate. So a little bit different today, but hey, we're all part of the AI data science industry. We should be keeping up with reports like this, right? So I want to thank all of you for your time. Thanks so much for being here. Really happy we got to spend this time together. And welcome to all the new people that introduced themselves. Appreciate that. But as always, I hope that you stay safe, take care of yourselves, and take care of your families. And I'll see you guys next time.